Well, welcome to today's presentation on Biometa3. We're still waiting for a few people to come on. My name is David Steinberg, and I'm here with Trent Warhan and Patrick Barron. And we're going to just talk about a program we've been working on for a couple of years that's at a point where we're excited to share it with everybody out there. We'll be back in just another minute or two. Let's give people a chance to finish logging on. Okay, we still do have some people logging on, but we're gonna get rolling. Again, welcome to just a brief informational session on a program called Biometa3, which is a way to take advantage of some of the trends in independent PT marketing that are going on. All of these services seem to be converging and becoming part of a full service program offered by independent PTs. And also, they're good ways to distinguish a practice from other practices by doing things that are innovative and appealing to a very large audience of people out there. So what we're going to do is talk about just a little bit of history on the Biometa 3. And it started few years ago in working with people at Franklin Rehab and talking about running our process, which some of you know if you've been on some of the boot camp training sessions. You know that we have a process that is three-step. Find something good to say is the first step, then say it well, and then finally say it often. And in running that process with the people at Franklin Rehab, we looked at an innovation of integrating weight loss into therapy with or people with orthopedic patients that were overweight. So that was the beginning of the innovation, and it came right out of the head of the people at Franklin PT, who said what you see is up on the screen. They would look at people that came in and kind of scratch their head and think, okay, I'm gonna treat today, and just a little bit concerned that these people can't really get better because they're just so out of shape and deconditioned that chances are that the condition is going to recur or come back in some other form. So in thinking about that problem and how to help patients with that, we came up with the process that we now call Biometa 3. And it took a couple of years of trial and error to figure out how to make this a routine part of the business that was not just an idea, but a program that had the operational support inside the clinic to be able to deliver this kind of care, and also the marketing support to be able to take advantage of it and separate the clinic from the competition in a meaningful way so that it could actually influence and change referral behavior from both patients and physicians alike. So what is Biometa 3? It's a service that is provided free to your qualified patients in addition to their standard PT care. And as we just talked a little bit, you know, where does that come from? Well, it comes from just the market condition and the demands that are placed now on physical therapists to change the way they think about the care they provide and how they deliver it. And this stat is on the screen at this point, which is not news to anybody on this call, but certainly helps us look at how big an opportunity this is from a care delivery standpoint and a marketing standpoint. According to the CDC, more than one-third of U.S. adults, 35.7%, are obese. And as a physical therapist, chances are that you see a disproportionate number of obese patients, obesity being a factor in many orthopedic diagnoses for kids and adults alike. In response, physical therapists are challenged to find ways of integrating new treatment strategies that deal with obesity. Biometa3 brings the key components for integrating weight loss strategies into your current clinical routine and provides a complete program of communication materials that are designed to educate patients and referral sources about your special approach to helping these patients. And this is a key point. It brings these components together because one of the things that we've found is that the idea by itself is not necessarily the innovation. The innovation is how to actually implement, execute, and turn this into a way to grow your business. And that's, I think, a very important point that Patrick Barron is going to talk to you a little bit more about when he shares his experience with you in a couple of minutes. And we just like to ask the question, you know, when you think about being an independent practitioner and the challenges you're faced with, both financially and out there in the marketplace, what can you find for a $5,000 investment to set up in your clinic that can grow your business and separate you from the competition? Yeah, you can go out and you can find a piece of equipment that you feel is going to put you in a unique position, or some other investment you can make. But the bottom line is you need to have something that has been tested and implemented, almost like a franchise, in terms of what you need to actually make that investment, not an experiment, but a successful business venture and a good business decision. So now I'd like to just turn this over to Patrick, who's going to share his experience in helping and participating and going through all the pain and suffering of trial and error with how to take an innovative idea and integrate it successfully in your practice. So Patrick, I'm going to turn it over and make you presenter.
Thank you, David. You can hear me okay?
Hear you very well.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to pick it up right where David left off. Okay, everything look okay, David?
Yep, I'm seeing
Okay.
it clearly.
Okay, great. So my name is Patrick Barron. I'm a physical therapist here at Franklin Rehab, and as David mentions, I was one of the ones that was trying to run this type of idea, like a lot of physical therapists do, trying to offer something in addition to your standard care. And as many people, I'm sure, have had this experience. You have a client who has issues, maybe with weight management or whatever, and you try to extend them some of the resources that you have, and it's maybe effective, maybe it isn't, but the follow-up's very difficult. The ability to get any marketability behind it's very difficult. That's really where all of this was born. So it's not as simple as just having the idea, but also packaging it in a way where you can both bring people, draw people in, and provide them with essential resources. So these materials, they're such that you're both educating the patient to promote change in lifestyle, but we're also making our referral sources aware of this unique approach. The program, Biometa 3, it will provide everything you need, including that marketing system, and the major portion of that is to generate referrals. So it's set up to do it as a means of generating new business. For the most part, most therapists really have the tools and they understand enough about nutrition and fitness to give their clients in need of weight loss services sound advice. But if they don't walk into your door and they don't know to come to you, there's not really any way for that information to ever reach them. So then, if we've got this program running and it's providing a resource to patients, how is that something that is essentially going to make money for your clinic? Well, number one is service differentiation. The patients that will be coming in are going to be unique patients. They're not going to be patients that found your clinic otherwise. Likewise, the referral sources are going to be different. You probably already have your standard referral sources that you bank on. Well, the program can effectively increase the referrals from your existing relationships, but it can by all means extend your boundaries and find new referral sources that would never consider your clinic because you didn't have that differentiation. Another one is patient reactivations, and we've all treated patients that have multiple problems, comorbidities, lots of different ailments that require physical therapy, and once they're happy with your care, they end up coming back the next time something comes up. This program is really set up to capitalize on patient reactivation. The program itself is effective at driving patients into the clinic because they have nowhere else they can go to get these services at the price they're getting them. And once they're in the clinic, and they get that personal relationship with the therapist, they're going to definitely be captivated by what you have to offer and have a reason to come back. If you look at it as a way of if they're going to see their doctor and they have diabetes and the doctor is doing a blood panel and they give them some things to work on and tell them to maybe see a registered dietitian or a nutritionist and then come back in 6 weeks and they run everything again. That's a lot of time in between for error. And that frequency makes them really want to be there. And once they're no longer coming in for your care, it gives them a motivating reason to come back to you once they have a condition that would warrant that. It does open the door. It's a great fit for post-rehab fitness memberships. Some clinics may already be doing this just for your orthopedic patients, where you give them access to your physical therapy gym for a low rate, which is really just to keep them close coming into the building. But this is a program that's effective enough where you can potentially have some good revenue based on them just purchasing the fitness memberships. And then the last point is that's an ethical way to increase your billable units. And we're talking about per patient, a way to increase billable units over the span of time that the patient is in your clinic, not necessarily in a single episode of care. The program is going to result in unique clients that wouldn't otherwise find your clinic. The clients often feel lost and talked down to and sometimes feel like they're left to work these weight management issues out on themselves. This is really a way for you to come in and provide resources and the means of physical therapy services, which you're billing for. And in the meantime, you're also adding in these other components that you're discussing with the patients. Okay, so then we go to the clinic requirements. The one thing I did miss on the last slide was the way that I'm going to back up just for a moment. Just to explain the mechanics of the program, I alluded to briefly, we're really only billing for the physical therapy services. So that means that you're going to have a CPT code, you're billing a CPT code that's going to match an ICD-9 code. So you have an orthopedic diagnosis that you're billing physical therapy services for. Obviously, you would have provided that anyway, so the insurance is obviously going to pay for it. So when we're looking at whether or not a person will fit in this program, it's really whether they're in the mental mindset if they're ready to take on this challenge at this phase in their life. You already know that they're covered, their insurance is going to pay because they're paying you for the physical therapy. We're not billing the insurance anything additional. We're not billing any weight loss codes. We're not doing anything where we're even sending the insurance information on weight loss. We basically are taking the rehab component, simplifying it in a way where you can run a program where you can easily come up with a series of exercises that match the orthopedic diagnosis and the physical therapist plan of care. And then you simply insert some components to weight loss into that rehab program. So this is done during the provision of physical therapy intervention. It can be done during any portion of that intervention. It can be manual therapy, it can be exercise, it can be modalities. So if you can envision you're going through and you've created a basic, say, exercise program for knee rehab, but your variables that you're going to change are going to be the resistance or the reps or possibly the environment or the surface you're standing on or something like that. Those changes should be pretty automatic for any therapist. You're going to do that almost automatically, which allows you during the time of exercise to explain to the patient the components that are necessary for success for both nutrition and for fitness. In addition to that, if you we teach you how to do this in a way where there's spare time within each session where you've met the time requirement to ethically bill the units that you're treating for, which leaves you with realistically some time during the session that you can spend entirely on weight management topics. So in the end, what happens is your patients are going to be getting more service for the same amount of billed care that the person right next to them is getting who's just been coming just to see for their therapy for their knee or shoulder or whatever. So now if we go on to clinic requirements, the things that you need to have in order to run this program effectively. First off, it starts with a physical therapist. The physical therapist is the centerpiece of the program. They're overseeing all of the care under that physical therapist license. The physical therapist is going to do the initial evaluation, and it's an orthopedic initial evaluation. We'll comment on all of the issues or needs of weight loss in that evaluation, and we do forward that information to the physician, and we have separate forms that we include a number of other components. The PT then creates obviously the plan of care, but we include nutrition, fitness, and rehab, which is the purpose of the name Biometa3. We're including all three components. For follow-up care, the physical therapist is supervising daily treatments. The PT can absolutely provide these treatments themselves. It can be just the PT running the whole program, or the PT can have a support staff using physical therapist assistant and physical therapy aide, and using them to carry out the services while they're also including the components of weight loss. The PT obviously is responsible for doing the progress notes and reassessments. The support staff, as I mentioned, you can use them to initiate the physical therapy treatment, which improves efficiency, allows you to still meet your billable units, and many times the staff doing this are going to have additional training that will make them more able to cater to this clientele better. So if we have a physical therapy aide, for example, they may have some additional training in nutrition or fitness. The other thing that we'll use them for is the performance of the body composition testing. One question that will probably come up is how we're tracking whether or not we're getting results. The answer is body composition testing. If you look at a typical physical therapy plan of care, it's going to range somewhere between 4 and 8 weeks on average. So during that time frame, it's not realistic to expect a huge loss in weight. The program that we have set up is designed to lose approximately 1 to 2 pounds per week. But if the program is implemented, it will be 1 to 2 pounds per week every week until they get to their target weight. So the body composition testing is essential because in that 1 to 2 month time, they may not lose more than 2 or 3 pounds if they're also gaining muscle mass. And it's important to be able to show them the changes in their body composition to show them that the program is effective. The support staff is also responsible for providing a lot of the nutrition resources. We do that online through a program that's called .fit, and the program is included with the program. I'll get into that in the next slide. However, within that .fit program, there is access to a registered dietitian. So if you have a person with metabolic syndrome, or if you have somebody who has special needs because of a condition, or if it happens to be an adolescent, those clients really need to converse with a registered dietitian, and there's access to that through the software program that we provide. Now, lastly, for my part here is just talking about the facility and the equipment that you'll need. So the bioimpedance analysis device is by all means the best way to go because it's the most specific way of measuring change in body composition. We're able to effectively show a change in a fraction of a percent, and so you could do that every 2 weeks or once a month, enough to show that change is occurring. Clinic scale, you want something with a high capacity, obviously, in this patient population, as well as having oversized blood pressure cuffs so that you can do some physiological monitoring during the exercise, also with the heart rate monitor. tape measure for waist measurement when we're doing like a waist to hip ratio, things like that, that also give you indicators that you're moving in the right direction. And then just simple exercise equipment. So you got your treadmill, bike, or elliptical. You need to have enough resources so that you can match your ICD-9 code diagnosis with your CPT code. So if we're seeing somebody for shoulder pain, and the last thing and the most important one for tying everything together is this online nutrition and energy consumption software. So basically, this program will have the patient logging their nutrition, so they're logging the calories that they're consuming, and it also will log either through an estimate or through a specific device called an arm, ExerSpy, a device that tracks how many calories they're burning. And the essential basic or the basics with the program is achieving a 500 calorie deficit per day, which is what is necessary to get that 1 to 2 pound weight loss per week. So all of these things together are what you need to run the program. From my personal experience, I first started this out before there was a program, and I shopped the idea around to a number of doctors. Every one of them said this is a great idea, but there just wasn't enough structure to create a path of referrals of new patients. And likewise, there wasn't enough within the program that I tried on my own to be effective to do it within the confines of a traditional physical therapy session. So we've all of this together. We figured out a way to do that, and I think David, you're going to take it back over from here.
Okay, thank you. And we're going to open it up for questions in a minute. I'm sure you've got a lot of, if this is like last week's session, you probably have a lot of questions about how this works for Patrick more than for the marketing. But also, of course, we're going to want to talk marketing as well with you. Um, what you need, I think, just to sort of uh, reflect a little bit on what Patrick said from a business standpoint. I think what he learned in going through the process of coming up with the idea and then figuring out how to actually get it implemented and running routinely in the business is really where what we're doing here today with you, where the value is. It's taken a couple of years to get to this point with it, and we hope that what we're talking about today, if you get that part of the idea, hopefully you'll see some value in the opportunity. The budget that you need is a setup budget, first of all, of about $5,000. There's 3,000 and change that you need to go through a series of 10 one-hour training sessions to get the clinical side set up and ready to go. The marketing setup is $1,850, and that gets you all of the materials that you need to communicate directly to consumers inside the clinic and to physicians about what this program is and the benefits of it, and get that to generate the referral activity that you need to make this work for you. Beyond the setup, you then need to consider the monthly licensing and support, because once you're up and running, hopefully what you'll find is that you've got a resource for marketing that you lean on when you need to get communications out, either direct to consumers or to physicians, or to do something in the clinic and not have to worry about how to get that done. And also when you need a little help on the clinical side, lean on people like Patrick to share their experience, and it's very likely that the issues that you're going to be facing as you implement and run this program are something that we've run into on this side that we can help you get through without wasting a lot of your time and effort. And that's again the advantage of investing in a program like this, is that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. and spend your own time, money, and resources to figure out whether or not it's the concept is gonna work. And then there's an exclusivity that you can opt to take or not, which gives you the ability to have exclusive rights in your area to the Biometa3 program. And that's the financial side of it. I think at this point we're ready to take some questions. And Trent, what's the best way to get the question to us? Type it into
Uh,
the chat window or?
yeah, two different ways. The easiest is probably type it into the chat window, but if you'd like to not type it in and just ask verbally, there is a little button out to the side of your um, GoToWebinar panel that has a little hand that you can raise your hand, and if you do that, then we can also get to your questions that way. And David, I wondered if maybe we should touch on the incentive right now as well. Um,
Okay, we'll give everybody a minute to. Trent, we lost your audio. Maybe if you type to me, type the message to me, I can repeat it
can you hear me
for the
now?
group. Yes, there we go.
Okay, sorry about that. What I was saying is that just wanted to let everybody know that right now we have an introductory pricing structure on as well. That if you are currently a PT referral machine customer, you do not have to pay the monthly marketing fee. That's for our full program only. And then if you order by September 10th, you get 50% off the monthly fees and 6 months exclusivity in your area for free. So it's a fairly good deal for this introductory offer.
And the Alienware is free of charge.
I knew I was going to have trouble with my connection today.
Um, okay, so I'm not seeing. We must have done either a really good job or a really poor job because I'm not seeing any questions this week. Okay, so if there are no questions, I guess what we'll do, we're going to send you an email after we get off here, and it will have links to all the documents that you need to send us an application to get going. There's a $85 fee for us to go through the administrative side of your application, and there's no obligation with your application other than the application fee. So if you're interested in um, having us continue to talk to you about doing Biometa 3 in your area, you'll need to send the application in, and then you can make a decision at that point once your application's been accepted as to whether or not you're ready to proceed. So there's no obligation other than the application fee. And you can visit ptreferralmachine.com/biometa3 where you can begin that process. So if there aren't any questions, I guess we're going to say goodbye. We'll give it just another minute in case somebody thinks of something. Okay, well, thanks for joining us today, and please, if you've got any questions or feedback, we'd love to hear it. You can send us a message at info@ptreferralmachine.com or through the Contact Us page on the site, and look forward to talking to some of you later. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.